I love that intro. Hello, and welcome back to another live stream. I'm your host, Miranda, and we've got a few people on that you might know, might have heard of. I don't know. Happy Halloween tomorrow. Tomorrow's Halloween.
Happy pre-Halloween.
Exactly. My partners in crime here. I've got Disembodied Voice.
Hello.
And the Painter Flo.
Hello, hello.
Working on some stuff. And then we've got special guest Naomi from the channel Sword and Steel.
Hello.
Dressed up in some fine armor, I might add. We were comparing ahead of the show, like, you know, as you do, as us girls do.
Right?
Compare each other.
Doesn't everyone do that?
So we've got our similar accoutrement. I love your inquisitorial insignia there.
Yeah, when I saw it, it was on Etsy, and I was like, "Oh, this is beautiful! I have to get it." So,
is it metal or resin?
It's metal.
Okay. Oh yeah, so heavy.
As is this.
As is that.
That's super cool.
So, what was the prep time for that? Getting into.
So I got this. I put this on like hours ago. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I putting this on so early? But then I was like, well, maybe I could just, do some cool thumbnails with it. And so I've just been wearing it. It was designed for me, so it fits me perfectly. So it's actually comfortable.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. And then is that just the like one of those 40K bodysuit things?
A dress, actually. It's a dress. Unfortunately, they don't exist anymore, sadly. But it's a dress, and I had to put it on to make it look really pretty.
That is cool.
You're very
nice.
I'm in tank top with inquisitorial symbol.
Nice.
That we bootleg.
That looks really really guard style.
I feel authentic guard. I'm just missing like the pallid skin, the malnutrition, and the scars.
I was thinking about a scar, but then I was like, it's all right. They hit me where no one can see it. It's fine.
Yeah, bag of doorknobs or whatever. It's not. I don't know. What is the thing that's not supposed to leave with a bruise? I'm not familiar with domestic violence very much.
Like a pillowcase full of doorknobs. They just get you with it.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, horrible jokes aside, welcome to our channel. I kind of had our base theme starting around the idea of painting because that's what a lot of what I've seen on your channel lately, especially those cool little vignette short videos you have highlighting very specific paints.
I'm going to keep doing that. I know some people really like it. I'm going to keep doing it. I've got I'm basically, that's why I'm just going to be a virtual library of miniature paints. So I've got the paints. I'm going to do it. What's that?
Have you been sticking to one brand or?
I have. So no. At the moment, I was doing the Army Painter speed paints because they seem to have gotten like a bad rep, and I was like, let me just show you what they can do, okay? And but I also started. I did all of the contrast. I did all the contrast paints and was working to do videos on each of them. I'm kind of.
I grabbed some of those guys for the thumbnail. I don't know if you noticed.
I did
those are all yours.
The thumbnail. I thought that was very cute. I was like, I have seen those guys before. Where I did a fantastic
familiar.
Job. Right?
Yeah. So basically, we just stole your content. It's cool, right?
Basically.
I'm completely. When I first I was like, oh, those are pretty miniatures, and I was like, oh, hold on,
wait a minute here.
I know those Scaven.
Of course, they're pretty. They're mine. Those are for the Scaven Tide box set, right?
Nope. They were pre. Those are. Yeah, they were pre. One of the Battle Force. There was a Christmas Battle Force for Scaven, and that's where I bought them. So thank you, patrons, for helping me. Bye.
We love you, patrons.
80 Scaven.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
they were always really cool models, I thought. Like the old
Yes.
Scaven.
And
always
now
loved
they
Scaven.
are Rainbow Scaven.
And now they're Rainbow Scaven.
And
Skittle Scavens.
yeah. One day they will. Right now they're on. If I wasn't connected to the computer, I would show them, but they're behind me.
Yeah, it's fine. Along with your really adorable servo skull. Fulvius is jealous. I wish I had him here today.
He was made by me by William was his Instagram. He was like, "Oh, you're going to put it on a live stream. Do you think you could put my Instagram up there?" And I was like, yes, I could. And it is Chrome Clan Designs on Instagram. He made that for me, and I call him Andrew after the Games Workshop rep who stopped contacting me. This is why he got a new position. And thankfully William has gone and rescued him, and now he's back with me.
There you go.
What is that? Chrome? CHROME?
CHROME Clan
CLAN?
Designs. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Designs plural?
Designs, yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna bam right there on Instagram.
Locate.
So good. Maybe add it.
Because he did such a great job for me. He's got his lights up. He lights up, his eyes lit up right now, and he did such a great job.
Oh, neat.
So cute. I had somebody comment on a different video of mine asking if my servo skull came from the movie Hardware, and I was like, "What the hell is that movie?"
I've also never heard of this.
Oh, I saw the trailer. It's actually super cool looking.
Is
So
it?
it's like 1990. And so it's
Well-
all practical effects, and they have a servo skull essentially, but he has like an American flag painted on his head.
Well, if it has a
It's cool.
servo skull, I feel like I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
No guarantees on what you're gonna get. We watched some very strange things in this house, but
Yeah, and we haven't watched this yet. I just saw the
We have not.
trailer, so
yes, exactly.
Mm.
All right, what do we got going on in the chat here? I do spend a fair bit of my time reading the chat because this is a community.
Oh, hello, Chuck
Into my
and Paul
knees.
and Brian.
And Paul helping hook us up here and be my wonderful moderator and my brave hero in Phasmophobia when I refuse to leave the van, and then he's like, "No, we need to get our sanity down to 25%. Get in the house," and I cry. It's great, my good friend.
If you want to play again, I'm available to play now.
Oh yeah, I was
Oh,
playing with
yeah.
my brothers on Monday when the thing had first come out, and we all kept dying. We literally went to like the easiest difficulty and kept dying. I don't know if you've ever played Phasmophobia.
I have heard of it recently because someone has shown me screenshots of
I
it.
wonder who you could be talking about.
And so I haven't heard it before, but then I love video games. I just don't have time to play video games.
I
Fair enough.
It's definitely hard.
you're also playing with your cousin too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was she playing Phasmo?
Yeah, although she hadn't played Phasmo in a while before the reset had happened, where they kind of reset everyone's level. She was at like game 500 and some odd or whatever before it got
And then
reset.
she got back in and had to start all over.
Start all over, yeah. I think put her at
I'm
like
sorry.
level 13 or something. So she's like, "What is all this gear? Why does it suck?" Because like the tier 1 gear is unremarkable.
I'm just admiring Flo's painting.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
So yeah, tell me what you got there, Flo. If I know we were talking a little bit before, but
I honestly can't remember the name of the company that makes these. They make a bunch of chibi miniatures, and I actually picked this up at Adepticon this last year, and I thought he was perfect for a Halloween live stream. So here we go.
Yeah. Well, they were in the little vendor hall, and they have like this whole
Yeah.
case full of tons of those little guys.
Yeah, I've got Ein's Lulgone from Overlord,
Oh,
and
he's so cute.
oh, another version from that same anime.
Oh, he's so
Oh, he's cool.
cute. You painted them
And-
so beautifully.
Well, thank you. Let's see, we've got
Oh,
Skyrim going on,
excellent.
and I think Goblin Slayer.
adorable.
These are the ones that DJ picked up, and he was like, "Okay, now paint these for me." So
Yes.
those got painted.
I can see why he just chose you to paint them. They are beautiful.
Because he lives with me and gets them for free.
That's fair. That's fair. Yes. Are you working on anything? I guess you're a little encumbered, maybe not working on anything tonight.
I'm going to. I have this right behind me because I'm trying to remember it. I want to assemble this one next. This is Masters of the Universe Wave 7. It's all of the Shira people for Masters of the Universe Battlegrounds. I'm gonna assemble that. That's my next project. But am I painting things? Yes, I've got lots of.
You're like, always.
A few things to work
I
on.
got like 10 things being painted at 7. I go from one to the other all over the place.
Oh no, I feel that too. I mean, I'm painting this guy for the stream, but I've got like 2 Titans. I've got a Bane Blade.
What?
I've got.
Who are you painting a Bane Blade for?
Right.
For Thanksgiving?
It might be by the time I finally finish it.
I have a couple. They're not playing. Let's see, Doomhammer and Storm Sword. Storm Sword.
I have the Storm Lord. That's the one bristling with all the guns and handles 40 infantry models.
Okay, so it's the Storm Sword then, because I've got a Doomhammer that I'm gonna do some like wear effects on, a sand wear effects because it's got that kind of color scheme going.
Yeah,
and the Storm Sword. Kept them back for doing some kind of weird effects. The Storm Sword, the one with the big cannon.
Yeah.
Super nasty.
That's the Titan killer, isn't it?
The one that walks up and goes, say hello to my little friend.
That's the Shadow Sword.
Shadow
Shadow Sword has a
okay.
volcano cannon on it.
I don't think that was... Mine's like the one that... Oh, I can't remember.
I think there is a Storm Sword. There's like 24 super heavies and guard. It's a little bizarre how many like variations of the super heavy battle tank the guard have.
We have
there's one you were asking for. I also have the Bolt Action 3rd edition book. I'm going through the rules and I'm trying to like bite size them because it's like 100 pages of rules.
Of just the rules? Oh, wow. Well, I mean, to its credit, they shouldn't change every 4 months. So,
yes, that's so nice. It's like the first time they've changed in what, like 10 years or something.
Quite a while. No, Warlord has always been really...
Yeah, they've been really great to work with. Super great to work with.
Respectful of their players' time. Is that the phrase you're looking for?
User friendly.
Yes. So
they're coming out with an introductory set that should make it a lot easier because I got Mariette roped into my friend Mariette roped into playing with me on the channel at last. So we're gonna do that.
Which do you know which factions are going to be in the starter set?
So the introductory set is Germans versus the U.S. I'm gonna be the U.S. and she's gonna be the Germans, and it's like Rangers versus Panzer Grenadiers, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And it says that there's going to be like a bite-size rules system. Now, I don't know what bite-size is when your main book is hundreds of pages of rules. I don't know what bite-size is, but we're going to try.
Nice. Brian mentioned he just got third edition of Bolt Action as well. So
nice. Then
picked up some Normandy buildings before
the Normandy buildings, the ones that the Warlord Games makes that are MDF and pre-painted, or where are these Normandy buildings at? I need good terrain.
Have you looked at the new Kill Team set?
The Hive Storm or one after that? Because I haven't checked out anything this week.
Just the no, this would have been a while ago because Paul was playing it. The stuff with the MDF terrain where they went to that. Stuff.
Right. The new starter set.
Yeah. Because I haven't messed with Kill Team in years. Although it sounds like the new edition's pretty fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to it.
I have not tried yet. I'm probably going to read through the rules and see if the rule book at least has gotten better than the last rule book when it comes to reading through.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, how many games do you kind of bounce around between?
So I learned that my friends cannot keep up with me, so I choose like Tiffany's gonna do. It likes to do Warhammer with me, and that's Age of Sigmar and 40K. Okay, so for my for me though, I have Warhammer 40,000 for Age of Sigmar, Warcry. Kill Team, I've tried all of those, or I play them regularly. Masters of the Universe Battlegrounds, which is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm doing Acton Panzer with his Warlord games, which is tank warfare, and it just feels like World of Tanks on a battlefield in front of you. It's great. If you like World of Tanks, I think you would like Acton Panzer, and you just play
World
like
of tabletop tanks.
yeah, it's so much fun. There's just a lot of rules to remember, but they all make sense, and you can ease into it with simple missions that are at the back of the book. So there's that, and then I was gonna do bolt action, and then feels like I'm missing some games that I have. I read through Infinity Corvus Bellum. Corvus Bellum. Yes, Corvus Belli.
Yes.
It gave me War Crow. I've read through the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They seem really nice. I liked how they flowed. So it was MDF by Warlord. Okay,
I guess it
Okay.
is. Oh,
they're nice. They're pre-painted. I'm not a big fan of MDF in general, but if they're pre-painted, I'll forgive them and I'll put it on the battlefield just to speed things along.
By the way, Corvus Belli is a great company. We like them a lot.
Yeah. I've enjoyed working with them. And then we had them at Nova. They've made the trip out a couple of times for that,
Nice.
and that's where they were doing demos of War Crow, which I hadn't had a chance to look at, other than this looks cool.
Yeah, it does. I can't say I like resin models. I'm a plastic model kind of person.
Not a metal models girl either.
Oh, I don't know why, but it's like I hate this filing process.
That's fair. And I guess you kind of have more to worry about with resin too, because you're like, all right, am I shaving this down? Do I need to get like a respirator to be near this thing? Like,
Right.
it off?
That's what you should put a mask on if you're going to be shaving any resin models. And I mean, I'm used to a mask with an airbrush and all that, but I don't like warp. And I just really enjoy the fact that with plastic models, I can just meld it and make it look really pretty with the plastic glue I'm using as I'm assembling.
And what is your glue of choice, my dear?
Oh,
the Tamiya stuff.
Yeah, the Tamiya stuff. I used to go by the they stopped making it. They stopped existing. The Masters needle nose glue, plastic cement, but it doesn't exist anymore. But this one is now my favorite because even though you should not inhale it unless there's a window nearby, I can't actually smell it anymore. It's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, that's what they say about rubber cement also, you know.
But
it's just fried all of those little the smell receptors in your nose.
But I really enjoy this one because I can fix up join lines as I go, and you can fix it up afterwards. And if you accidentally put too much on, it'll just dry as if it was never there, and you just keep going. I just love it, and I show how new players how to use it all the time at the store.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I know what I used for the Great Unclean one recently because he had a few little gaps. And so we actually made a version of it where we melt some of the sprues in it, so we make sprue goo. So it fills in all those gaps.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, sprue goo is it's very handy. Because it's just you melt it down with what, acetone?
We just put it in the plastic glue. Like we have a plastic glue dedicated to it.
Oh, okay.
And there's a particular brand. I don't have it here, but there's a particular brand of airbrush cleaner that that is Tamiya's airbrush cleaner that actually works out to be the same thing that you can also put your sprues into and make sprue glue. But I think, despite that, I think I still prefer using plastic putty rather than sprue glue, because you can put, if you prime your miniature, and you were like, wow, I don't know how I missed this crevice, you could put the plastic putty on afterwards and then paint just over it. So that's, I mean, those mistakes that you missed and hit yourself over is something that you can still get with plastic putty. That's by you, plastic putty.
By the way, I saw that the helmet is custom built, so we didn't buy it anywhere. I 3D modeled it and then 3D printed it and then painted it, and it has a little Kevlar helmet suspension system in it. So
Yeah, pretty proud of the whole bill. Took a long time to make.
Great.
I made this, and then everything else was him.
I think it looks so great.
We were quite pleased with how it came out, because you use these heat-threaded inserts at points to you just melt those in there, and now you have holes that you can screw things down into.
They're threaded, so you can screw bolts into them. And
which I think we have
really in there.
The chin strap, right? That we haven't gotten around to actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. It's a lovely helmet. I am jealous of the helmet. I would wear that helmet.
Oh, really?
Anytime.
You hear that disembodied voice? She would wear it, and then we'd have matching helmets.
That's right.
You have
know what you have to do now.
You know what you have to do in all your spare time.
Now, theoretically, I was already going to make a few more of those. So
that's the theory. You have to just work on getting the rest of the armor, because just running around in a tank top doesn't really save you from tyrannid talons very easily.
But it's guard. I can see that happening anyway.
I was gonna say, yeah. But, I mean, you're kind of cannon fodder.
I know what has happened. You were off duty. You thought everything was okay, and playing cards with your other comrades, and suddenly tyrannids everywhere, and you just grabbed your helmet and went, oh, that's fine.
Helmet, lasgun. And that's it.
Don't have time to put on the armor. Anyone who's put on armor knows that it takes a darn while to put this on, so you didn't have time.
Nice.
If anyone knows, Shay does. I think he's in here.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah. So Katie and Sergeant Steele. He
has a whole set.
He has a whole set. He has the purple contacts of Cadia. He shows up to the Nova narrative events, at least, and helps run just these absolutely fantastic games. He's great. He's good people. He's exactly the type of people that you want in this community. So
that's great. Hello.
Incidentally, I'm drinking decaffeinated Earl Grey tea in my big giant glass mug that I got from Nova that I love. And because I'm a filthy American, I kept the tea bag in.
I am also drinking tea.
Well, I should have made tea before I came and sat down, but I did
not.
Apparently
not American, as her enormous cup would.
That's a pretty enormous cup. As usual, Canada just
I don't even remember where I got it, but it was like enormous and Canadian, and I was like, I feel like I could use this somewhere. First time it's in a video.
That's amazing. That works perfectly. Thomas. So Thomas is also a fantastic painter who joins us in the chat, and he is helping prepare for Warfare Weekend and running the RPG Requiem, which is the Iron Kingdoms. Did you ever do much with like War Machine or Iron Kingdoms or any of that?
So War Machine this was long before the channel. I was going to get into War Machine, but this was kind of like when I was still new to assembly and all of that.
And metal models.
And metal models.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was doing Legion of Everblight is what I was getting into, but I'm afraid to say that they never saw battlefields. I have them somewhere.
Somewhere.
And it wasn't like the community locally didn't really build
really
up.
Have a group for it.
Yeah. It kind of died away.
Yeah, that pretty much universally happened everywhere, unfortunately. So
And I really liked the models though. Not assembling them, but I really like the look of them.
well, it's interesting because they're Mark IV. Well, I don't know what it's going to be like under Steamforged games. So that I don't know.
Who knows?
I think they're moving to the high intensity polystyrene. Is that the HIPS plastic, right?
Right.
High impact. I
High
think is what
impact.
it
Thank
is.
you.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, so that you'll see more assembly. Before that, they were 3D printing all of the models, and so you would get them, and they were already assembled pretty much. So that part was easy.
Yes, I do. I definitely can appreciate pre-assembled models. I actually I adore assembly. I have never plastic model assembly.
Yes.
I endure.
Not adore.
I endure metal assembly. I adore plastic assembly.
Yes.
Hello, Patty's Parlor.
Patty. So Patty's a game designer. Also, he
Oh.
made the game Mutants and does a bunch of Heartbreakers. But
Yeah,
he's
he
a
was our
silly
guest
bumble.
last on our last show.
He was
Oh,
our guest last
wow.
time. Yeah. So.
I'll have to watch that.
And he had
Oh.
these super cute pictures of him and his family at Halloween. So adorable.
Oh, nice.
Loves it. All right, what's going on? Oh, thank you. Whoever's running the chat, you just keep running it. I appreciate what you're doing. What other cosplay gear? Well, I have half, and I say half. It's most of Age of Sigmar, more like old world witch hunter costume, except I still have to actually make the hat. And now 2 years in a row, I've been like, oh, I'll just make that real quick and then buy none of the materials and run out of
I know
time.
that. I know those words are so false.
We also have a Cadian grenade that I made, which is pretty cool. And then we also have a hot shot volley gun that we can't show on a live show, or else the live show will get.
Is that the one that turned?
Demonetized.
Oh, that was so
shut
bad.
down and removed.
I heard about that. That's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad I didn't. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I didn't put like my bolter on it.
Yeah, because it's not like YouTube actually knows what a gun looks like. So it's just, yeah. Because Iron Warrior Cosplay, he had to be very careful because he would do live streams of him making his foam weapon builds. And YouTube was like, you're putting live firearms in there. And since we're not going to bother with our $1 billion corporation to fix our algorithms and make them work functionally, we'll just instead randomly ban people.
Well, he was working on it was a Lucius pattern last gun, and so you're like, that's not a real gun. That's like that's not anything. And there's like, well, too bad. And so they knocked him down too. Ours wasn't even live. Ours was, the little intro video.
Yeah,
it was our outro video. Miranda had dressed up as Jill Valentine for a campaign that Dave was running at Mini Wargaming.
Yeah.
And so we recorded a bunch of shots of her doing stuff for his show, for his the campaign. And so we just had a shot in there that's not even live footage. And they're just like, well, it was being streamed live. And it's just like, what?
So, nuance is not possible.
No. And one of these days I will make my sister's battle costume, but the logistics on that, trying to make something that's durable anyway, are they're challenging.
Yeah. Well, unless you go metal.
That's true.
It's quite durable.
Yeah, you definitely don't get the thickness problems with metal. You just have weight and clankiness.
Well, I'll have it done anytime now. I'm still just finishing the last touches on my metallurgical knowledge to make plasteel. So once I figure that out, then it'll be a breeze.
Oh, was that all?
Is it plasteel or ceramite? Wait, which one's the
my armor? I thought plasteel.
Is plasteel what the buildings are made of, and ceramite?
No, that's the armor. Yeah. Ceramite.
Okay. Well, I've been building the wrong stuff. I got to start from scratch now.
What's the other stuff? Rockcrete or something like that?
Oh, plasteel. Oh, what is that stuff? Something crete.
Yeah, I thought it was
Plascrete. Because it's
plastic
plastic concrete. It's a portmanteau of those.
Right. Obviously.
Yeah.
Brian, by the way, says that speed paints are so fantastic or great. I have never used a speed paint. Obviously, you have, and Flo, I think you have, right?
I don't think I've used speed paint. I use Fanatic.
Fanatic's nice too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
those are what I'm using for like the eyes and all the orange details that I'm doing on this guy are a
Nice.
couple of Fanatics.
Demigod flames and demonic yellow. Ooh, demonic yellow is nice. I like demonic yellow.
Very banana-y.
Mm.
Fall is going on in spring. In fact, I should have an announcement actually really shortly now. I'm just getting the last touches up on the building everything up. But yeah, we're going to be having Vahalla in April this upcoming year. So get ready and be on the lookout for it because I'm going to have some early bird specials for y'all. I don't know. Have I ever told you about Vahalla, Naomi? Probably not. It's our little wargaming retreat that I say little.
I have heard of it, and you go and play war games, right?
War games all week long. We have really, really beautiful like 40K tables. That's how I really got to be familiar with bolt action because the crew out in Utah, Ruben and his friends, like run an amazing bolt action campaign during the week. It's super, super casual. So like this last week, I was borrowing.
And it is supported by Warlord.
And it is supported by Warlord. Yeah. So
they're
and they've been, again, they're just wonderful people. So yeah, you just get to be up in the mountains. Think like kind of a Viking anachronistic fantasy because
I am familiar with the term Valhalla and its background, I suppose.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
It's what is it? 26,000 square foot cabin.
Log cabin.
Is it expected for you to
largest
wear
rentable cabin in the
Viking
US
outfits? Because I could go with that.
Well, I will just reply yes, even though you don't have to. I'm just going to say yes.
There's no requirement, but definitely encouraged because I know we've had some Viking drinking horns there, and
we have a live-in full-time caterer that's up there, and so she cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, so you don't even have to leave the cabin. You're fed very well. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's just feasting and gaming. Like,
yeah,
it's it's like non-competitive gaming, right? So the other thing, I mean, people can bring whatever they want. My view is like, bring your fluffiest list that you feel like you never get to play at the game store because someone wants to kick your teeth in with their net list or whatever. You can go play that because you're gonna have a great time.
My gosh, net lists are silly to me.
Oh gosh, yeah. So we also have Dungeons and Dragons, or just several RPGs in general. But DM Scotty comes down from the DM's Craft, that YouTube channel. But he comes down and DMs some games. Sean from Blue Table Painting, DMs some games, and I don't know. It's just basically just big old retreat more than anything. It's 5 days of hanging out and gaming. And the game room is really cool because it's a big, for the cabin, they have a big dance ballroom.
Oh, wow.
And so we just fill it with tables. And so it's a war game room.
The
so
best
you can
kind of ballroom.
Yeah.
One filled with wargaming tables.
And you look out the windows and there's just mountains in every direction.
Yeah,
and
the ballroom is, ballroom is surrounded with windows, big, tall, like 10-foot windows.
Great lighting.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
Indeed. It is bring your own alcohol. Liability says that I can't provide that.
So we don't
I won't be
provide
bringing
it.
my own alcohol. I'm a featherweight, so no.
That's okay. None of us drink.
Yeah,
So-
actually we don't. So I wouldn't even know what to buy anyway.
Well, so usually somebody's brought plenty of alcohol, but we do drive you into town. There's a place in Heber, Utah that we drive into. And so you can get a ride into town if you need to buy anything. So
yes,
but alcohol is definitely allowed.
Bring your own Valhalla.
I meant to click that one and then the chat moved. Yes, but Siobhan's been there before, and despite his comment, I think there actually was plenty of bacon. Danielle totally looked out for you. I warned her.
was this pre-planned, the bacon?
Yeah, so I mean, if anybody, so there's, I run a Kickstarter to fill up Vahalla, and so one of the things that I do in that is that I send out a survey to say like, hey, what are your dietary preferences or limitations, or just anything the caterer should know about to help make sure that everyone's accommodated for. Like vegetarians are getting their meals, any special dietary requirements or allergies are considered, all that sort of thing. And so, I mean,
yeah, our caterer is a professional caterer. I mean, that's what she does full time. So she takes a break and comes out and works for us, but she's a professional.
Naomi, what is your favorite? Oh man, you have to pick a favorite.
So I nearly wore it today, but because of Andrew, my silent GW rep over here, because of Andrew, I decided I wanted to go sisters. But I really like my new Shira cosplay gear because it's from top down. It's really great. And I got a Shira sword of power to go along with it. It's just really
that's so cool. Is it metal, like a real sword?
It is. So when you have a name like Sword and Steel, it better be steel.
Fair enough.
So I found a swordsmith, and I wish I could remember the name of it right now, but it's a swordsmith that the next video I put out with my Shira outfit, I will definitely remember to put his name down there, and he fashioned it for me. I think he was from somewhere in the US. It was great. I used Archon Studio, which made the Masters of the Universe Battlegrounds game, which I adore. It's really nice. You have to watch it. It's like you play 5 characters against 5 characters, maybe, and it's He-Man, and it's fun. It's great fun. And they, Archon Studio, paid for my Shira outfit, and also I was sponsored for the battle report, because first off, when they first contacted me, I was like, you want me to do a He-Man battle report? I mean, sure. And then I watched the old He-Man shows again, because I'd watched them as a child, and I watched them all because they're all free on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yes, I am totally going to do a battle report. But I spent the money that they gave me to buy the sword for Shira. So
worth it.
And you definitely watched the Masters of the Universe live action movie too, right?
I have stuck with the old ones. So no live action movie. I have not. I watched the Introduction to Shira movie on the YouTube channel. I got it all free.
Introduction to Shira movie?
Yeah, Shira was introduced in a movie that I don't remember the name on, but it's all on Masters of the Universe YouTube channel. All of the original.
Is it an animated movie?
Yeah, so it's original 1980s style movie where they introduce Shira's background.
Oh, nice.
By the way, the Masters of the Universe live action movie is 1987, so it's old school as well. Has Dolph Lundgren in it.
Wait, it's coming back to me. Is it the one where they go into the modern world?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Once upon a time, I watched it.
Like one time.
And it ages superbly.
Yeah, ages wonderfully.
It was one of the 3 movies to destroy Canon Film Studios.
Yeah, I think it was the final nail in their coffin.
I think so.
Yes, it is made by Nelson Z Blades. Thank you, Paul. You're correct. Yes, that was the people that made them, and it's a beautiful, very heavy sword. I have to work up my muscles to actually be able to wield it.
Get those weights working.
By the way, I think it was also the first movie Courtney Cox was in.
Well, that was where she got her breakout anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will have to check that out again, because I remember vaguely some He-Man growing up. It would play.
It's so
Well,
cute.
I couldn't get up
The
Saturday
little
mornings to
moral
save
of
my
the
life.
story where they break the fourth barrier wall or whatever at the end every time. It's like, and this is why you do not do narcotics. Or something like that. Like it's just great fun. And whenever you're having trouble with friends, remember that it's just a moral of the story at the end of one. It's just so cute.
I always just think of the, what is it, Wheel of Morality. Turn, turn, turn. Show us the lesson that we must learn.
Yeah, it was Animaniacs, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great show.
That's where it's from. I knew I heard it, but I could not remember.
Well, that's when they were just like, you know what? We're not even going to pretend like this is part of the show. We're just going to say, yes, this is the Wheel of Morality time. You're going to learn a moral lesson because it's required.
I'm going to highlight Siobhan's comment because I haven't seen you in a minute. So I every time we see him, we always have to have this conversation. Did you ever watch wrestling, Naomi?
I have never watched. Well, I guess I've watched one or two wrestling, but I realized that it wasn't. That I was not a wrestling watcher.
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to read it off, or am I?
I'll let you do it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because somebody has to read it. It has to be audibly heard.
It has to be audibly heard.
Hello, all. Did you guys know that in 1998, The Undertaker threw Mankind off of Hell in a Cell onto the Spanish announcer table?
The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure I remember that event happening as a kid. My brothers and I, for some ridiculous reason, watched WWF wrestling at the time before it became WWE. And it was just daytime drama. It was just a soap opera. It was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah.
It's great. Chuck Rogers says hi.
Hi.
Greetings.
And I guess JP Got Rockets has in fact seen Hardware. Oh my goodness.
Really? Oh wow.
I do not know what to expect from that. What does the servo skill do?
The single X is not considered to be pornographic. It's the 3 X's that are. X was a rating back that I believe at the time. X was the rating that became NC-17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was getting confused with triple X.
That is fair.
And so there's a lot of movies that are like, we're not pornography. We're just, I don't know, like crazy violent and other stuff.
Oh my gosh. Man, I gotta get up on the Masters. So that Masters of the Universe, I think I saw a video from you about it.
I've done a few. I'm going to be doing some more. Let's see. Masters of the Universe Battleground. I did a break open video. I did the one where they actually sponsored the video, which was the how to play. Originally, I wasn't doing a how to play. I was just doing a battle report. But when I was editing it, it was like, so many people don't have it, so they're not going to be able to follow it. So let's do instead a battle report. Yes, it did take longer to do, but I was like, let's do instead a how to play so you can actually follow along, even if you haven't gotten the game, since it wasn't even available in North America. And I was like, okay, let's do it this way instead.
No, that's a good call. And I think I remember seeing that one because you were dressed up for it.
Yep.
And that was always the thing I liked about your channel, because you're always in a character of some sort. Like you're always
I started
very nicely or dressed up, and it's makes me jealous, and I appreciate that.
Thanks. I'm glad it was appreciated, because I just really enjoyed adding the theme to it, even though at first I wasn't sure whether to do it, but thanks to the great community that is out there, I was like, I feel confident to start wearing anything I want. And so if I can pick a theme, I will.
Now you have a proper game store where you're at. Like you run a game store also. So do you get people who come in and they're like, I know you from the internet?
Yes, and I regularly, and some I don't know until I'm like, why are they looking at, like, am I recognized by them, or are they staring at me because
is there something on my face?
previously it's like seeing a girl in a game store was unusual. So I'm like, okay, I'm just used to all sorts of different appearance looks, but every now and then they just stare and they're quiet and they look around and they look back at me and I smile at them. And then it's like, are you on YouTube? So it's pretty cute. It also is a lot easier to make someone believe that you know what in the world you're talking about if they've seen you all over YouTube doing exactly what you say you're talking about.
What is it? The halo effect?
Before, normally, because I look so young and there aren't that many women.
Nope, we are a bit of a minority yet.
In the community, someone will walk in and just assume I have very little idea of what I talk about. Oh, I mean, what they know, and then I start talking about it and have very deep knowledge of what they need, how this paint works, how that paint works, how you assemble that model, what's inside this model, what are the weapon options.
And they're like,
where it comes from, whether you can order it, whether this kit is plastic or resin or so. Since I know everything that's inside the store, they realized in time that I actually know what I'm talking about. But the YouTube channel, my point, the YouTube channel has made it such that they walk in and probably know what I'm talking about because they've probably seen me on the YouTube channel. So it works really nicely that way.
Like, it's that YouTube girl. She's here.
Right? I exist.
She's real. You've ever someone come up and like touch you? Real? No, I don't imagine you did. Like, I don't think that's ever an experience anyone really's had. But
there is a lovely counter, and behind the counter there is a whole bunch of swords, axes, and at the moment a couple spears, and that slows them down.
That's fair. They're like, oh, she probably knows what she's talking about with those two. But I imagine you have people who come in after seeing maybe one of your painting videos and they're like, I'm looking for that paint, actually, or something like that.
So, yes, they come in with the fact they know that I will be able to answer their question now. And I made the mistake of showing exactly how quickly I can match a color. Like if they show me a color on their phone, or they come in with a swatch, or they like, how do you do this? And I'm like, what brand would you like to go with first off? And then we'll do it from there. And the modeling community has just recently become aware of my skill, and now they come in with like, can you recreate this color? I'm like, how skilled are you at painting? Should I do it in a 2-color? Will I try to find the closest 1 color? Yeah. So my reputation is getting around,
getting out there. Well, did you start off by only painting miniatures, or do you have an artistic background?
So since I was 10 or 11, I've been painting things. My very first miniature was probably when I was Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
I had help finding which one it was. It was back when I didn't know anything, and it looks absolutely horrible. My patrons have had the picture shared. It's absolutely awful. It's a cleric, some old, I don't think it's Ralpartha miniature or Reaper miniature, something like that, and her face is like, can you imagine 10 layers of paint with,
or it looks like it's red or something.
It's absolutely terrible. But I didn't really start painting miniatures other than a couple times when I was a child. I started just doing canvas paintings. So I did have art lessons there, and then I took all of the high school art lessons that I could, including graphic design. And then for a while I was actually an Magic the Gathering card art altruist. and that's where my color matching skills came up. Because
Oh.
I was punished severely if I didn't get it correct, because you cannot put multiple layers of paint trying to match a color on a card if you don't want it to be destroyed. So
Oh, wow.
that's how I got my skills in color matching, because it was for the
There you
old
go.
GW Midnight Blue. Is it a GW paint that doesn't exist anymore? Midnight Blue
might be.
doesn't currently
I,
exist. That
yeah,
was
I assume that's what he's probably
if
referring to.
if I had the Midnight Blue in front of me, or had
An
like
image or something
yeah.
in order to be able
Then
to
I'd
match
be
it,
able
if you
to
won't know
tell
off the
you.
name.
Yeah, then I'd be able to tell you where to go for that. I need to see it.
But it sounds like yes. But yeah, just Naomi knows it all. So
Yeah.
good job.
If I don't, I can create it. Like I have a couple swatches around here somewhere that someone was like, could you recreate this for me? And he's pretty new to painting, so I have to make it as easy to follow
Easy as
as
possible. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that anyone out there who has these paints, these old discontinued paints, you need to basically get like a neutral gray piece of paper and paint them and create swatches so that future
And then
generations can match paint to the old ones.
And keep it out of the
I
sun.
can match any paint. I swear, I can match any paint if I have its origin. By this silly thing is trying to tug out of my ears.
By the way, there's a fun video for, honestly, just for anyone in the chat too. But there's a channel I follow called Hollywood Haunters. Sorry,
Okay.
it's Hollywood Haunter, singular.
Yeah.
But the guy is he builds sets and stuff out in Hollywood, but they're big fans of like Halloween and making cool stuff for Halloween. But he'll do other projects as well, and one of them is a scale replica of the Castle Grayskull playset for his son, and it's the whole thing's like 12 feet tall, and he builds it up with foam, puts fiberglass over all of it. It even has the functioning like jaw. But yeah, if you just look up Hollywood Haunter Castle Grayskull,
I gotta note
he has a
that
series.
down.
Oh, and he step by step, like there's a bunch of episodes they do because he step by steps exactly how he built it.
Yeah, we can send it to you after the Discord, also on the Discord after, because it is really cool. And it's, what'd you say the scale was? It's like,
it's to scale, but it's let's see here. Well, let's see. On this thumbnail, they're saying it's 8 foot tall, but in the picture in this other thumbnail, it looks taller than that. But I don't know. Either way, there's like, I'm looking at one now. It's like part 14. There's a bunch of them.
Paul mentioned this guy. I'm rearranging things. Paul mentioned this guy.
Yeah.
Still here. I still have it.
Oh, that's really cool.
This is the one that I did on the channel because I did it for my birthday to just do something different. So yeah, there it is. There we go.
Dang, girl, that looks amazing.
This is what I used to do more regularly
before hobbying and all of that.
Right.
Do you have sort of a favorite at this point? I mean, do you like Age of Sigmar?
I've tried the new Age of Sigmar, and it's if you enjoy, it's perfectly fine. I tried it with Tiffany. We were doing Night Hunt versus her vampires, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So I used to like Age of Sigmar more than 40K back when I wasn't big on lore. I guess that was right when Age of Sigmar first existed.
And the lore all got reset. Yeah.
No, I never actually tried fantasy battles. I had the models, but I never actually tried it, I guess. But then, yeah, the world blew up. So I never got the chance to try it. So I was just into Age of Sigmar then. But and I've been kind of building old metal sisters and orcs models. Yeah. Oh, and Assault on Blackreach models for the orcs. But when I started getting into the lore of Warhammer 40,000, I'm like, I actually care a lot more about these than I ever did. So it's kind of the lore that got me to actually enjoy Warhammer 40,000. So I guess maybe that's why I'm a little protective of it when someone just messes around with it for no good reason.
Yep. Yeah, turns out lore kind of
Right?
important.
Oh my gosh, and that's the conversations that probably I have the most often. If it isn't about paint with Warhammer players, it's about the lore. So, you know,
And people
someone
ask
finds it
if
important.
it's safe to eat the paint, I assume.
But can you eat the paint that Naomi mixes up? No.
Don't eat the paint. Haven't you seen
Paint is
Monuments commercials?
I
Jason's
have
yelling at you. Don't eat the paint.
I have tried using vodka through an airbrush to decorate a and food coloring to decorate a cake. That's fun. Once you just start using airbrush to decorate cakes, I am
so
not
the-
Decorating
that
them
good
much
at
better.
it.
I guess
am
the vodka is like the
it's the
medium
cleaning
that you
agent.
put the.
Yeah, it's the cleaning agent and thinning, I suppose, agent for it, so that it's
Okay.
perfectly so it's safe. Safe
So
for
that when you
consumption.
clean it, it's still, you know,
Yeah.
it's not toxic to run food through. Got
I
it.
tried that once. I, however, as good as a painter I am when it comes to decorating cakes, it's much to be desired. I'm a nailed it kind of cake decorator.
I mean,
But I tried it.
technically, you can eat anything. Just should you? The answer is no.
So Screw the Net mentions Age of Sigmar feels like GW retcon attempt to bridge fantasy with Warhammer Fanny K 40K, but it's been odd though interesting. So I didn't read any of the old lore, old world stuff. All of my Age of Sigmar knowledge literally came from just reading a bunch of White Dwarf magazines.
Oh.
And that's how I learned about like there's the 8 realms and they're sort of associated with like types of magic and they're all disc worlds. So I don't know if that was just taken from Terry Pratchett or what, but
Maybe.
yeah. And then they're the separate worlds, but I guess there's like little portal gates so you can travel around. And it feels very 80s fantasy to me. Like where they don't take it super serious.
Oh, I think actually that was probably another reason why I was more into Age of Sigmar first, because I was a Dungeons and Dragons girl before I was a Warhammer girl.
Fair.
Grew up 7 years old was my first Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So
Oh, that's fun.
Was it like a parent
So-
that
yeah,
introduced-
yeah. Yeah.
What does D&D look like to a 7-year-old?
It is. I have had multiple parents now chat about their young children playing Dungeons and Dragons, and some like the story, some just like to fight to protect their parents from the bad guys, is what it was. And for me, I have very few memories of it left, but I was the guinea pig because we did not have any identify scrolls or anything like that. No. You had to figure out what the magic item did through trial and error. That's what I remembered. I was a female dwarf fighter thief with an intelligence of 7 and a charisma of 7, and I adored it, and I have liked Dungeons and Dragons ever since.
Oh, that's amazing. So, and that puts you sort of more in the fantasy setting then, huh?
Right. So
Okay.
sci-fi was different. I started enjoying sci-fi with I watched the Alien series and then was like, now I want to watch everything that's sci-fi. It's just changed my whole outlook on things. And then Warhammer 40K, I actually started reading all of the lore. And I was like, wow, these are no longer little models anymore. They're tiny little fellows going out trying to fight Xenos.
Where did you start with the lore? I mean, I'm sure there weren't like quite as many books as there
Horus
are now.
Heresy.
You started in Horus Heresy? That seems brutal.
Right. So when was it Horus Heresy? Feels like there may have been. Oh wait, no, it was probably a Sisters of Battle book first.
Oh, okay, like
there's
Fire and
2 of
Faith,
those.
Hammer
I've
and
read
Anvil.
so many now. I'm kind of trying to remember. And then every time a new Codex came out, I would just read through both for Age of Sigmar and for 40K. I would just read through all of the lore in there.
Nice.
Could you show your armor? I believe I did earlier.
Earlier. it was an ordeal. You don't want to make her
I
do
think
It was a whole thing.
the whole
right.
thing.
I think I lost one of my purity seals in the effort.
Oh,
In the
no.
warp.
She's lost.
It's all right. That's why I have 2. I'm still good.
That's the spirit. I mean, the Emperor might not agree, but it's fine. Now so do you sell Black Library books in your store?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you,
Mostly just 40K ones. and-
okay, yeah.
And I try to keep all the Horus Heresy ones, even though I think that the Horus Heresy first couple ones by Dan Abnett. Oh, I love the Eisenhorn series. Sorry, I interrupted myself.
I still have to read that one. Actually, I'm still getting through Gaunt's Ghosts.
Oh, I haven't tried that one. I think I have it in the store, but I haven't gone through it yet. But I'm going to do it. I started so the Horus Heresy, where everyone is where the Space Marines kind of came to life for me, and therefore before it was just like, I mean, okay, they're space man. I think I'll just go with the Sisters of Battle and my Adeptus Mechanic. Oh, it was Mechanicum. The 9th book was actually the one I read first, come to think of it. And then I went back to Horus Rising. I'm like, Dan Abnett, what are you doing? How is this a book? I don't know what's happening. It goes from 1 month, one day to 5 months later, back to the second, third day.
Oh man, so
It's one of those.
Whiplash for you. So I mean, people have got to be asking you when they go into the store. They're like, I want to learn about 40K. Where do I start?
Well, there's so much lore that they could just start anywhere, really. And then all of the Horus Heresy, the first 4 books are like sort of chronological, kind of switching from place to place, and then after that, it's kind of different viewpoints of the same war said lots of times. All over the place.
Well, I think one of the things that becomes overwhelming with 40K is because, like, when Space Marine 2 came out, I had a bunch of coworkers who were like, oh, I want to play Space Marine 2. What's this 40K thing? I want to learn about the lore. Where do I start? And I'm like, just look up a Luton video. Like, don't even bother with a book or anything yet. Like, find out what you like first.
Yeah, it's like literally start kind of anywhere, because it's just a big giant ball of lore. And there's no front door to it. You just start wherever you want.
I do actually, for people who want to know what would be like if you were smacked into the 41st millennia as a normal individual, what would it be like? And I like to send them to the Eisenhorn series. Like, he's not a normal character, but there are normal people in there, and you get to hear what the Space Marines are like. You hear it builds up so well. It's like the 7-foot giant with the deepest voice imaginable, and it's like, well, right, that's just a regular Space Marine. You're expecting a bloodthirster or something, or a dreadnought Space Marine. But it gets into what Space Marines are like to regular people, what the worlds are like to regular people. And there's the Eisenhorn series, followed by the Ravenor series, followed by the one that's not done yet, which is the Beckwin series. Yes, that's right.
So I would say, if you're going to be a normal average person zapped into the Warhammer world, basically just listen to your friends talk secondhand about like the video game of Space Marine and Space Marine 2.
I enjoyed that Space Marine.
And that's about as much as anybody knows about a Space Marine, because most people have never seen one, never met one, and half of those people don't even think they're real. So that would give you the right perspective.
Yeah, that's one of the cute things about the Eisenhower series too. It's cute. I don't want to reveal anything to anyone who hasn't read the book.
That should just be the blurb on the book. It's cute by Naomi. Sword and Steel.
Sword and Steel.
You get to really enjoy all of the characters. It has a whole bunch of characters in it, so it's Dan Abnett again, but it's Dan Abnett after he's figured things out.
Well, 1999.
Oh, don't suggest Fulcrum. Holy smokes. Don't suggest Fulcrum.
That one might be a bit much.
Oh my gosh, I never want to read Fulgrim again. It's a Greek tragedy, which I suppose is the point, really.
There you go. There you go.
On the other hand, they are right if you want to know how demonettes came to be and noise marines, I suppose.
Boy, do I. I
So
feel like the closest thing to a noise marine is that guy in the new Mad Max movie. You know, not Fury Road, but the
the fellow who's like rocking out.
Yes.
On the...
I always think of that guy. Like that's got to be a noise marine, right?
Oh yeah,
Like, that's how
really
they train
enjoyed
them?
that.
I would assume so. I would assume so.
I really enjoyed that Mad Max movie. It was just so much fun.
What was the first? Not the first Mel Gibson one, but the first Tom Hardy one. What was that one called?
That was Fury Road because the next one's
that's right,
Furiosa.
Fury Road.
Oh, right, Furiosa. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
yes,
Fury Road, as
Fury
I
Road is
recall, I really enjoyed it. I haven't watched it in a long time though. So.
it's really good. I've seen it recently. It is wonderful.
Including the noise marine.
No, it's actually like it's kind of interesting because the first Mad Max movies came out in the 80s, right? And so it's interesting because like you can tell the Games Workshop orcs were inspired by Mad Max, you know, like the Gorka Morka and like, you know, all the stuff like that. And so they've always been kind of inspired by that sort of road warrior feel. But then when you go back and you watch Mad Max Fury Road, it's obvious that all of the art direction for Fury Road is inspired heavily by 40K orcs. And so it's like the influences have kind of come full circle because everything down to the war boys and the, you know, like the way that the car culture is and stuff, like it's the way things are built up in a way that's very different than the original movies.
Yeah.
Like the art direction is very different and very much more reminiscent of 40K.
Well, I mean, I'm sure whenever you learned about 40K, because you learned about 40K after watching the Aliens movies. And so I'm sure like Tyranids.
I'd heard of Warhammer, but
You had?
so I started I mean it'd been around me, but I didn't really particularly show that much interest in it, I suppose. Until I was part of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And there was a fellow who was building Necrons every single session. And he liked to build Necrons as if they were reanimating wrong. So custom build Necrons with like it's sideways and arms sticking out. He would just build them wherever way he wanted. He was a fidgeter, so he always had his hands busy. And then other people were also building Warhammer. And I was like, I don't know whether I want to get into it. I mean, I was university and work and Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, but then someone was like, I can't afford the Assault on Blackreach, and I just want the Marines. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll take the orcs. Orcs seem like an easy thing to paint. I hadn't really painted miniatures very often, and orcs, they'll just be super easy. I'll go in halvesies with you and get the orc side of Assault on Blackreach. And then I started reading all the lore of the orcs, and I'm like, oh, these are so fun.
Yeah, orcs are fantastic.
Orcs are great.
There's actually a lore video that just popped up in the last couple of days where it's Kroot versus orcs. And it's basically just a comparison of because orcs are genetically engineered versus the Kroots that are like selectively genetically modified. And so it's kind of like, how do those fare against each other? But it's a really in-depth like lore video about the two of them. It's actually a really good one.
Oh, that sounds fun.
The orcs were genetically engineered. Do you like?
Yeah,
the old ones.
The old ones. Thank you to fight the. Yeah.
Well, they were to fight the Necrons, right? Or the Necrontyr. Isn't that who they were designed to fight?
Before they got crazy. So
was it an example of the real world habit of people to bring in things to take out other things, and then they become invasive species themselves?
Yeah.
I
think you're solving a problem, making it worse.
No, it's kind of neat because it kind of went into the idea of the orcs being essentially a fungus, which is kind of like one of the most resilient things ever. And so
Sounds
it's
like ethereal propaganda.
No, it's a really fascinating, because it's an interesting idea that there's a lot of just latent information that's baked into it. So like, how mankind actually, had the it's sort of golden age, but then we lost technology. But it's sort of hardwired into orcs, where no matter what you do to them, they can never lose their technology, because the level of technical knowledge they have is actually just genetically built into them. And so like they on a genetic level can never forget. And so like even then, beyond that, the wog that they have, the psychic wog, is what kind of reinforces all that stuff and makes it actually work.
I love the weird boy lore on that. It's like that was so much fun.
Just the way orcs work in general. There's so much chaos to it, I guess, that it's really hard not to just like crack a smile, even just describing how orcs work. They're ridiculous.
It's why orcs can never they can't fall to chaos, because chaos has nothing to tempt them with. They're kind of living their best little orc life at all
Right.
times.
Well, what you describe them as, the only optimists in the game?
Yeah, they're the consummate optimists. They literally exist on the power of believing.
Hello, Justin. Are you more of a wargamer or an RPG or these days? I'm definitely more of a wargamer. If it was to me anyway, I'm definitely more of a wargamer than an RPGer. I adore being a dungeon master, but I just don't have that much time to actually do up campaigns nowadays. Now I have enough information in my head to always be like an impromptu dungeon master. Without having anything in front of me, I could probably create a campaign. But I absolutely adore doing wargaming. And right now, I think mostly I've been doing the Panzer and reading through the bolt action rules. To get through. That's what I've been working on. And painting. I'm trying to get more painting, because I always wanted to get more painting on the channel. So that is what I've been doing. But there's so many cool things that I want to share with everyone. So just do everything.
Like how to use the speed paint, and what to buy, and how to play Masters of the Universe. And
yes. I go from one place to the other all the time.
So it sounds like having a game store is ideal for your interests.
Yeah, right?
Seems like that works out. It's pretty cool.
Turns out.
So anything exciting, like any big, well, I guess you're working on a Bane blade.
Well, so that's just one. I really wanted to get at least I'm calling her a bloodthirster. She's not a bloodthirster. She's a demonic lady that is from mini wargamings. I gotta paint that one up. But I haven't fully decided exactly how I'm going to paint her yet. So she's just been staring at me.
Like the Silent King.
Did we share the good news with Naomi about our Lord and Savior? I don't know. I'm a Morrowind, Andrew. So
Menoth?
Your Menite propaganda means nothing to me. So obviously from well, I don't know if it was obviously, but from the Iron Kingdom's lore, so you had Menoth, the Protectorate of Menoth, which had the really, honestly, there were some of the most beautiful models. They had that real strong Catholic imagery to them, with all the crosses and the really like very steep.
There's no crosses. They're menafixes.
I'm sorry, menafixes. No, they're beautiful. And we are playing an Iron Kingdoms RPG right now, but we're doing the old school one because it used to be a 2d6 system. So
is that? I have at the store. There is an Iron Kingdoms RPG book like on the shelf because it was. I just pulled it out of storage recently.
Probably the new one. I would think. Does it say Requiem on it?
I think so.
Okay, so then that would be the new one. So there was. Originally, before War Machine was a war game, Privateer Press made a I don't know, companion or whatever D20 game system called the Iron Kingdom. So it started as an RPG. Then they built on to create the war game War Machine, which was lovely. And then they went on from there to recreate. they recreated the RPG in 2012. Then they recreated it again in, when was that? 2022, 2021? I don't know. Somewhat recently.
Overboard.
That's a Menifix, by the way. From
Oh, right.
More-
Okay, so as soon as
It's a
Brian said
half-painted one.
Protectorate of Menoth, now it's come to me what Menoth, where I'd heard the term.
That's
Now I
right.
understand.
the
War
Protectorate.
Machine, yeah.
The 3D printers are amazing. I just want to say.
Yeah, it's only
They-
half painted though, so you'll have to forget
They
that.
are a dungeon master's really good friend. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. You could just make anything happen. That's
Eventually.
really nice.
You got to
I-
plan for that ahead of time because you're printing for a while. It's not fast. They get
No,
faster.
I have tried 3D printing both the filament and the resin. Elegoo printer, perfectly lovely printer. I just can't get into the 3D printing because I prefer to just get someone else to do it for me.
Yeah.
All the cleanup and the toxins.
Also, yes.
I will use it absolutely, and I appreciate them giving it to me, but I just can't handle the.
I appreciate you, Andrew. So, like Flo, your boyfriend has 3D printers that are the resin ones, and so we just let him do.
We have
and he has
both.
a really nice filament one now. The bamboo, I think. is
Yes,
what it is.
bamboo.
Yeah, and those things are real nice. But
He's got
We
stuff
have-
printing right now, actually.
oh, there you go. We just use the filament for printing big things, and the filament stuff isn't bad. If you're not doing ABS, you're not really worried so much about the fumes.
Yeah.
For ABS, you definitely would be. That is a Malifaux mini you're printing, right? Or painting there, Flo, right?
Yes, I am painting Jakuna Ubume.
I haven't seen any. I have not had my hands on Malifaux miniatures yet, so that's.
Oh.
They tend to be a larger
City.
scale, I think. And so there's a little more detail on them.
They're fun. I always think of them as very long miniatures. You tend to
Yeah.
get tall and spindly. Really cool stuff. Are you familiar with the Malifaux world at all?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never delved into it.
So, how would you describe Malifaux? It's like urban.
Malifaux, it's Western
It's a-
Gothic.
It's in what
Western
the
Gothic. Well, that
the
sounds
eight-
fun.
18th century? Would you say? Like the 1800s roughly?
Kind of Victorian-ish era,
Yeah.
like the time frame of Jack the Ripper and all of that.
Cool.
Yeah, and so a rift
So-
opened up in reality, and there's this sort of kind of like an upside down, if you're familiar with Stranger Things.
I am. I watched all the seasons of Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's kind
We
of
have
like
a couple
that.
of these
And
guys.
Well, as
I got
Patty
stuck
puts
on the
it-
first
There are a couple other
episode
ones.
because it has telekinesis and Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, well, I'm in.
That's true. It was a very charming show.
there you go.
More.
Patty's got it. It has
Okay.
kind of a feel of the Wild West and Cthulhu.
Wow.
Yes, it's
This
wacky.
is
That
a bunch
sounds
of old
great.
metal minis. So
Yeah.
half of mine are plastic, half of them are metal. I can actually grab some of the first minis I've ever painted, and they were
Sure.
Malifaux.
Sure.
Because they are just down this little hallway here.
I thought you were gonna say down the street. I'm like, I don't.
Down the street.
No.
Yeah, I just need to go for a walk.
Just get
She's
him
like,
from
"I'll
the
be back."
neighbor. No, Malifaux is so part of its appeal is that it's supposed to be very skirmish based. You're playing 10 models. They're all
Yeah,
gangs.
I
It's
really
more
like.
gang
I have to
warfare.
say, I enjoy the 10 models a lot. I mean, I am all for 2,000 points, 40k, but a lot of whom I'm playing against are pretty new because I'm regularly teaching people how to play games and they've never done it before. So you have to start really small. So
Right.
any game that can get people starting really small and get them painting and enjoying themselves, I appreciate. And
Yeah.
so
And the
All
Malifaux
right.
community has always been really, really fun too. Like,
Some of the
I
first models I
personally-
ever painted.
oh, my
how
goodness.
cute is that?
So I decided to
That's
take
really
it in a
nice.
Candyland theme because he's Willy Wonka dressed.
Yeah,
But,
you're right.
He's Mad Hatter, Jack the Ripper inspired, so he's got his Is
So basically,
dead
he's
ladies.
a serial killer, and his crew is made out of the zombified dead hookers that he killed.
Yes.
It's very popular with the women.
Oh, I love those. Those look great.
Malifaux has always been an interesting one.
That
for me.
looks like so much fun. I really enjoy what you've done with the bases too.
I mean, you can definitely tell like it's some of the first stuff I ever painted, but you know, I'm still proud of them.
They're great. Much better than my first models.
Oh my god.
But
So
this is part of another crew that I have that I've had forever,
Yes,
and I
that's
just never
right.
painted them.
Oh, yep. Well, I feel better whenever someone says it's like, yeah, I had them forever and never painted them. Oh, yes, I definitely don't know how that feels.
Well, my stuff always comes last because I'm a commissioned painter, so I'm painting everybody else's
okay.
stuff. But my stuff
I've
is
done that.
always at the end of the line.
Ah, yes. I had to pause in doing any commissions just so I could try and get more because my own stuff. I'm pretty blasé in comparison to when I'm working on other people's stuff because I'm always experimenting. My own creations are all experiments.
yeah,
No, I mean that's what this guy kind of is. So I was like,
Well,
let's
he's
play with
a
color.
fantastic experiment. He's looking so adorable. I really like what you've done with the eyes.
yeah, the glow
And
effect.
his cape is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, his outfit isn't very clear, so gonna have to roll with it. But it's all about his head anyway. All we really care about, right?
His big old head. How do you feel about the current 10th edition 40k rules, frequency of updates, the core rules?
I have absolutely no problem with them. I played multiple games now of 10th edition, and I very much enjoyed the fact that they did all of the rules initially, anyway, all of the rules online so that people could just scoot right into 10th edition. That was really new player friendly. So I have no complaints about the 10th edition core rules at all. It's all straightforward. I think just my favorite part was that they made it like new people can just grab the rules online and go from there. And I think that's a good idea. And I really liked it when they did that with the war cry. So I was super ecstatic that they did that for 10th edition 40k rules. And for anyone who hasn't tried it yet, I would say just get the online rules. I do not like the fact that I can't look on the app. They used to be if they don't have a codex on the app, you could see all of their stats, and that was really great for like helping new people. Even in the store, it was really great for helping new people. You could pull up the stats and see this is what this means, and then they locked it up whenever they put out a codex. So Games Workshop, open up the app again, you silly people.
Yeah, even if you can't build a list with it, just be able to see it.
You're selling miniatures, just open up the app so that people can build their miniatures.
So all I'm hearing is that the more codexes they put out, the more people are going to start going back to Wahapedia.
Well, so I've been in a few tournaments since 10th edition. I've played 3 tournaments this year, maybe more. I don't remember. I played
3 for
kicked
sure.
up my activity for sure with it. And I mean, plenty of people come in with Wahapedia printouts or Battle Scribe or, you know, just the alternative rules. I think there was some other one even. And there's a risk there that the information might not be the most up to date, which is a problem with those like FAQs that are coming out every other month and their balanced data slate and all of that. So you might have people coming in who might not be playing the way they're supposed to because they're working off like old rules or old points costs. And that's a problem because it's not free. Like it's what, $5 a month for the app. So you're going to be stuck with that if you, you know, if you don't want that expense, then you've got to find all these alternative methods and then there you go. 10th edition has been pretty fun. I specifically, and I don't know where people fall on this, but I specifically like list building where they're like, whatever. We did away with force organization charts. Do what you want. I was like, yes.
I enjoy it that so at first when I first saw that they took out all of the chapter specific rules where
Yeah.
first I was what do you mean there's no specific rules for Imperial Fists, or there's no specific rules for White
Salamanders.
Stars, or
Yeah.
and for my AdMech there's no specific rules for strategies 8. But since then it just makes it easier to play whatever you want, and you can always color them because in the books there are times when various detachments of the different chapters are fighting together, so why not?
Well, I think it worked really well for the Imperium. I'm sorry, for Astra Militarum. So for the Guard, I very much liked that I could play all of the regiments together.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little lame that you have Catachan, Cadian, Death Corps Krieg, and infantry model. So, I would love to see, some like Vestroyans and
We're the
Vahallans.
Tallarn Desert Raiders again.
Yeah. Like any of those have something just to sell the models again, because I love the idea of a combined force where these are my Catachans and these are my Death Corps and these are my Tallarn Desert Raiders and these are my Vahallans, and one from a practical gameplay sense, it's much easier to not accidentally commingle your models because they're more defined from each other, but then also it just adds a lot more flavor. And I think it's fun that of course the Guard would all cobble together on whatever given planet to do their fight. So I love it.
I originally was, because I'm just accustomed to the separation, I was like, I don't know. But since I've played it and created armies with it, I'm like, no, I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly fine. And it's very nice for new players as well, because it's a lot easier to get them to allow it. They don't have to worry about if they pick up a box of Space Marines, what they want to color it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I guess it never really did. I mean, you could come in and take your blue Marines and be like, I'm playing them as, I don't know, Crimson Fist or Iron Hands, or not Iron Hands, but like Salamanders or something like that, just different stuff. But because I don't know that you really run into too many people who are going to give you crap for.
If they are, then I don't know whether they.
Yeah.
Whether they're the people you want to play with anyway.
Right? I don't know whether you want to. I am one where if you can play whatever you want against me, really.
Right?
I mean, if it's identifiably different from one to the other, I am good. And you can give me whatever lore that you like for them.
I know, JP.
No
That's why I was like, well,
notice.
Crimson Fist aren't a good example, but
What?
I was just replying to JP. Andrew also asked if
I used to play those, by the way.
I
Crimson
know.
Fist.
Oh, have they done a second set of detachments for armies without a codex? I do not believe they have. I think the only codex detachments expansions has been within the codex. And basically that is the only reason that you need to get the codex, which is silly.
Which you're getting the codex book for the code, because by the time you get the codex, there is at least 50% chance that there's already an FAQ to fix something, which is really not something I love.
Have I ever been to Adepticon? I have not been to Adepticon. It will be something in the future.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I was going to go to anywhere, right? If I was a little bit closer, that'd be cool. Passport. It's probably warmer than where I am.
Probably. Although
I don't know. The new one's in Milwaukee now.
Yeah, like Wisconsin in March, April. I think it's March. When is Adepticon?
Because I know Chicago is already pretty chilly at that time of year, and then now we're an hour north of it.
Hour and a half.
It's chilly, but I mean, they had to move venues. Like, in fairness to them, they had 8,000 people this year, and you're feeling packed.
Were you there? Did you get to go?
We
did go.
We actually took the train to go, and that was really fun.
I have never been on a train.
Also, neither had we. Like, not for like a long haul travel like that. Anyway, that was really fun.
Yeah. I just kind of, I don't know, got a wild hair and just sort of looked into it, and it's like, oh, there's actually a train that goes from Los Angeles to Chicago, and it goes right through Albuquerque. It's like, oh, that's great. That's what we're doing. It was nice not having to drive, and it was also nice not having to deal with TSA. And so that was
You could carry
pretty
so
nice.
much more luggage.
Oh, yeah.
We were with our buddy Aaron, and he brought along a murder mystery on a train game.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Even the conductor came down at one point. He was like hanging out watching us play because
That is great.
we were being ridiculous. So yes, I highly recommend Yale Amtrak for that. At least the West Coast stuff. I don't know anything about the East Coast on that.
Yeah, East Coast ones I think are just shorter, and so they have fewer amenities. But this one's like,
The dining car.
22 hours.
No, I think it's
20
more than that.
I don't think it was more.
It's
than
like
22.
we got delayed.
On the way back,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's
it was
about
like 22 hours on the way though.
But the train's supposed to do like a 40 to 48 hour run, something like that, all the way. So they've got like the dining car and the observation cars and a bunch of sleeper cars and all kinds of stuff. It's really neat.
It was a fun experience. It was definitely something I would do again. Maybe for a bit of a shorter haul, like if we went from here to California or something.
Yeah, I would do that.
Naomi, do we have any local game nights or anything like that? I don't know anyone at home who plays, paints Warhammer 40K or like conventions. I assume Ryan's in your neck of the woods.
Once upon a time, there was, unfortunately, with the lockdowns, all venues changed or went out of business.
Yep.
So even my spot, it had to be converted back to the apartment complex that it originally was, because that was the only way to keep going. One of the only ways to keep going when you couldn't let anyone into the store or have any events unless you be fined.
Oh my God.
So unfortunately, people have kind of just like I can always help people find people to game with, but there's no local venues anymore, unfortunately.
That is devastating and heartbreaking. Ugh. Hopefully we see some of that stuff finally recover if it's allowed to. But I know I'm brutal about it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I actually have to get going.
No, we're past time actually. No, so we can totally wrap out here. So Naomi, you're Sword and Steele on YouTube. I should have grabbed your link here, but and I don't know any those closing thoughts or anything you want to.
Well, I want to say this was great fun. I really appreciate you inviting me to come and chat. I had a lot of fun talking about gaming and everything. And paints. And you can check my channel out on YouTube and ask absolutely anything hobby related. I will try to answer it either in comment or in video, because that's the whole point of the channel, is to answer anything hobby.
Specifically how to match a specific paint. Sounds like you're
I'm again, and I'm going to try and make a big old library of paints so that if you were wondering what a particular paint looked like, it is I will answer that in a video, hopefully.
Excellent. Well, we loved having you, Naomi. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll get to do this again.
I am down for that. So by all means.
All right. Well, you have a great night. And then we'll go see you all in 2 weeks. We'll be back on I believe the 13th. Yeah, 13th of November.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll take care. So we're gonna end here. And then so the end stream, there's a little couple minute, I don't know, video outro we've got. So I'll be in there to reply to any comments. So don't worry, guys. If you want to keep chatting, feel free to go ahead. So, all right, we're going to play our outro and end our stream here. So thank you all again. Thank you again, Naomi.
Thanks. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Barry, cover me.
Copy that.
No more sandwiches, Barry.
What's wrong with this place?
I'm in the west corridor. I'm right outside the generator room. I'm out of bullets.
Oh, Barry.